Now, you mentioned eye dominance, and this is important to understand. We really don't talk about eye dominance as an issue in defensive shooting, and those who do really are using an old model, or they just simply don't understand anatomy, they don't understand the physics, they don't understand what's happening with eye dominance, because eye dominance is completely irrelevant to defensive pistol shooting. The tests that we do to determine your eye dominance, whether you stick the thumb out and you close one eye or the other, or you make the hole between your hands and you drive out on something and you pull that back slowly, those tests prove that eye dominance is irrelevant to defensive pistol shooting at extension, because your brain is putting your thumb in the right place. Your brain is putting that hole in the right place. And your brain doesn't know the difference between your thumb and the gun. When you drive the gun out, the exact same neurology, the exact same physiology, the exact same thing with our visual system that puts your thumb in the right place, puts the gun in the right place. So it doesn't matter if you're putting it in front of your left eye or your right eye, or you're turning your head a little bit, whatever happens naturally, that's what you should do. You don't take a person who is right-handed and because their left eye happens to be like 4% stronger, put the gun in their left hand. This makes no sense. You are a certain handedness. After puberty, 99% of the population has a hand that is much more capable of dexterity, strength, and even if you do fall into that very narrow gap of the exception that can be ambidextrously skilled, most people will practice overwhelmingly more with one hand. You'll write with one hand, you'll shave with one hand. Whatever it is you do with one hand that reinforces the neurological connections and the musculature and the dexterity of that hand, that's the handedness that you have. There's never a reason to switch that unless you need to shoot. And with pistol shooting at extension, you just absolutely do not. And it's a bad idea. And people who are still doing that are really out of touch with the state of the art of defensive shooting, or they just simply don't understand the physiology and the anatomy and the physics and the neurology that control handedness and vision. Now, if someone is completely blind in one eye or the other, then it starts to matter. If you have a 75% better vision in one eye or the other, it starts to matter that you definitely close the bad eye. If you have a pirate patch, well, you're not going to shoot with the pirate patch eye, right? You're going to be using the eye that works. If, on the other hand, your eyes are about equal, if one's 5% stronger, 10% stronger, it really doesn't matter. You can do this experiment on your own. You can go out and do sighted fire with your left eye closed and do sighted fire with your right eye closed, and if you have sight alignment, sight picture, you're going to get the hits if you control the trigger smoothly enough. The trick is keep the gun in your real strong hand, not your other strong hand or whatever you want to call it. Keep the gun in the hand that you're actually skilled with and dexterous with and you practice with and you use most often whenever you can, and simply let your brain put the gun where it needs to be. With a shotgun, in that situation, it's different. Your head is attached to the gun, and you've got to make sure your eye that the brain wants to use is behind the bead on the end of that shotgun. So there it might make sense. If somebody's left eye dominant but right-handed, we might go ahead and put them into a left-handed shooting position, because also we have 4 points of contact, the body, the face, the two hands, to help control the gun and overcome the lack of dexterity in that trigger finger on the weak hand. But that's an extreme situation. In defensive shooting, that gun's going to be out of extension. It can be in front of either eye very easily. So you simply close the eye that isn't behind the gun. And if you're not exactly sure, you'll figure it out very quickly on the range.